India's nuclear journey is a complex and fascinating story. It's a story of scientific ambition, political maneuvering, and international pressure. Two pivotal events stand out: the 1974 Smiling Buddha test and the 1998 Operation Shakti tests. These events marked turning points not just for India, but for the global nuclear order. Understanding these tests requires delving into the context, motivations, and long-term repercussions that continue to shape the world today. India, a newly independent nation in the aftermath of World War II, harbored aspirations of becoming a major player on the world stage. Leading this pursuit was physicist Homi Bhabha, considered the father of India's nuclear program. Bhabha envisioned a dual-use program, one that would harness the atom for peaceful energy needs, while also keeping open the option of developing nuclear weapons. This vision was initially supported by Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, who saw the peaceful atom as a symbol of India's scientific prowess. The early years of India's nuclear program were marked by international cooperation. Canada and the United States, driven by the Atoms for Peace initiative, provided assistance and technology, believing it would be used solely for civilian purposes. India received its first nuclear reactor from Canada in 1956 and entered into agreements for plutonium-uranium extraction plant designs with the US. In 1963, General Electric, under the US Atoms for Peace program, helped build the Tarapur reactors. This collaboration, however, would become a point of contention in later years. By the early 1970s, India had developed the expertise and infrastructure to conduct a nuclear test. Teams of physicists, working in secrecy, had successfully developed key bomb components using plutonium. The political landscape had also shifted. Following the 1962 war with China, which had conducted its own nuclear test in 1964, public opinion in India increasingly favored nuclear armament. A 1964 poll revealed that 63% of Indians supported developing nuclear weapons. Despite this, Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, upholding Gandhian principles of non-violence, exercised restraint. The 1998 tests, codenamed Operation Shakti, meaning cosmic power, were a watershed moment. Unlike the 1974 test, which India maintained was for peaceful purposes, Operation Shakti was an unambiguous declaration of India's nuclear weapons capabilities. Conducted on May 11th and 13th, 1998, at the Pokhran test site, the tests involved 5 detonations, including a thermonuclear device. This time there was no attempt to disguise the military nature of the tests. The decision to conduct the tests was taken by the newly elected BJP government, led by Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The BJP, a Hindu nationalist party, had long advocated for India to openly declare its nuclear status. The geopolitical context was also favorable. Relations with China had stabilized, India enjoyed a military advantage over its rival Pakistan, and relations with the US were on a positive trajectory. The international response to India's 1998 tests was swift and largely condemnatory. The United States, along with several other countries, imposed economic sanctions. The tests were seen as a blow to global non-proliferation efforts, particularly as they came shortly after the indefinite extension of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT. However, the tests also opened up a new chapter in US-India relations. The ensuing years saw intense diplomatic engagement, culminating in the landmark 2005 civil nuclear deal between the two countries. The long-term impact of India's nuclear tests is still unfolding. The tests triggered a regional arms race, with Pakistan responding by conducting its own nuclear tests just weeks later. Concerns over a nuclear arms race in South Asia intensified, particularly given the historical tensions between India and Pakistan. The tests also led to the formation of the Nuclear Suppliers Group, NSG, a multilateral export control regime aimed at preventing the proliferation of nuclear weapons. India's nuclear journey, from the early days of international cooperation to its current status as a de facto nuclear weapons state, continues to be a subject of debate and scrutiny on the world stage.